Hi, welcome to Gemini Star Spiritual Wellness. Thank you for joining me today. I'm excited that you're here to join me on this video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about introduction to chakras, and this is going to be part one. So part two will be coming out a little bit later, but it was just so much information that I had to break it up into two videos because I don't want it to get too long. And then after these first two introduction videos, then I'm going to go into each individual chakra. I'm talking about the 7 major chakras that are on our body. I'll be getting into more deep information about each particular chakra. And I want to give a video to each chakra because it's a lot of information. So I'll break it down individually later on. But this is just an introduction to what chakras are, because there is, a lot of people don't know about chakras. So I wanted to do some deep information sessions about it so that I can get more information out. Remember to like and subscribe to this video. So please hit the like button for me. So when you hit it, it will spread it out to other people who would be interested in seeing this video. And then when you hit the subscribe button, that way you'll see the future chakra videos coming out, and other videos that I put out will come up and you'll be able to watch them. So, and please excuse, I know the lighting's a little funky this morning. I have some sunlight coming in through the back wall there, and it's kind of washing me out. So I was playing with the lighting to try to get a little bit better so I don't look so dark. But I think it's just that morning sun coming in is messing me up. So, and I have these big windows here behind me that sometimes can mess me up. So let's get started about chakras. So chakras is a Sanskrit word, which means wheel of life. So they're basically little spinning wheels of energy. And we have 7 major ones that our physical body is attached to, but there's also some chakras that are below our feet that attach us to the earth energy, and there's also chakras above our head that attach us to the divine, or galactic energy and divine energy on that scale. So they're little vortexes, so they're spinning, and they allow life force to come in and through the body, so come in and out. So it's constantly allowing energy to come in and out. And kind of think of it as a funnel is kind of what they look like. So the chakras that are like, on this part of our body, like our throat chakra, heart chakra, there's a front and a back. So you've got this little spinning vortex coming out like a funnel here, but you also have it behind you. So it's in the front, and then it's coming out behind you as well. But for the crown chakra and the root chakra, it's just coming out from the bottom up. So it'd be like a funnel, trying to see how I can describe it, coming out wide here, and as it comes closer to my head, it would be a point. And that's how it is on the root chakra as well, because it's coming, so it's going straight up. And it's not, there's not obviously a front and back on those two. But it allows energy to come in and out, which is very important, because notice I said life force energy in that statement. So it connects us to the energy that's in our 7 layers of our energetic field around us that allows us to live, basically. So we need this life force energy to be alive. So that's important. But it allows our bodies to function, allows us, our consciousness and our bodies to function well in this physical realm. So it allows us to stay connected to divine source, because he is life source energy. So we have that connection, that spark with the divine through, these chakras bringing in this energy. So it's very important because it helps us to function properly. And chakras are way more important than what people think they are, as far as our physical health, mental, and spiritual health. So it's very important. So, and it brings in energy into the body, but it also sends energy out, and it can bring in other people's energy. So you have to be careful when if you're in a group of people, it's, and you can pick up on other people's energy, or for positive or negative. So think of it this way, and I've seen this happen many times. Like if you're around somebody who's happy, who's optimistic, who's kind of high vibrational person, high energy, you always feel good when you're around them. You're like, oh, I like being around that person. They make me feel so positive. Well, that's because you're connecting to their energy, and you have that. So you're being exposed to their energy through our chakras. And the same can be like with a negative person. So if you have somebody that's negative, they can, they in their low vibrational, you're going to bring their negative low vibrational energy into you through your chakras. So it brings in all types of energy, not just from your own little 7 fields or layers of around you, your energetic fields, but also from other people as well. So that's why it's important to really watch who you're hanging around with and who you're sharing energy with, because you don't want to be around negative low vibrational energy, because it's going to have a negative effect on you, and it's going to be hard to get that effect off of you and get it off of you. So yeah, people's energy can affect us positive or negative. So our chakra system keeps our mind, body, and spirit balanced, happy, and working properly. And that's real important, because, health isn't just physical health, even though we've been programmed to think that's what health is. There's so much more to it. There's mental health, there's the mental state, there's the emotional state, and then of course the physical state. So it goes beyond just our physical body. So it's really the 3 parts of it. To be healthy, you need to have those all healthy, happy, and balanced. And the chakra system helps with that. Every chakra is connected to our development of our consciousness. And how that happens is every chakra is connected to an emotional issue, and it's also a type of psychic function. So we'll get more into that, its specifics, when we start talking about the individual chakras separate. But they connect us to, like I said, emotional issues, psychic functioning, but also to physical parts of our body, like our organs and stuff, which I'll explain that later. So that's how it helps with our development of our consciousness, that, while we're in this vessel, which is really what it is. We're just spiritual beings that are in a vessel while we're on earth. But that connection through our chakras helps us be connected to the divine. So I'm reading my notes here. I hope I don't get lost. Tried to make sure I took really good notes. So what's interesting is there's around 360 chakras in our body. The ones that, I'm mostly going to focus on, of course, are the main ones, but that's a lot of chakras. And the primary chakras, the major ones, they start in the etheric body. So that's kind of where they start, and then they come into the physical body. We do have little mini chakras that are located in the palms of our hands, in the soles of our feet, and in our nipples. But what's interesting about the hands are, the palms of our hands and soles of our feet, is I always feel a lot of energy for the palm of my hands. And I really didn't know why until I realized that that's a mini chakra. And I was like, oh, okay, that explains it. But also the soles of your feet. There's an interesting Japanese knowledge that I discovered, where the bottom of your feet is connected, the soles of your feet are connected to all parts of your body. And there's this patch that I got that I've been putting on my feet to help remove toxins, and it pulls it out. Well, that makes sense. If the soles of our feet are a mini chakra, that makes sense of how that works. And I put it on the sole, bottom of my feet, and then I wear it throughout the day at work. And when I come home, it's black because it's pulled out all those toxins. It's really interesting. But I've heard like old home remedies about if you're sick, to put like onion on the bottom of your feet, and it pulls out the sickness. It pulls out and same with potatoes, will pull out the fever or whatever that that people did in the past. But that's why it works, is because the soles of our feet are little mini chakras. So really quite fascinating when you think about it in that way. And I remember the first time I used those patches, I just was like, oh, this is cool. It really works, And I can feel it, like the minute I put it on my bottom of my feet, like I tape it on my foot, and then after about maybe 10, 15 seconds, I can feel it coming up my leg, like this tingly sensation coming up my leg. So right away, I feel that it's working. So it's just really quite fascinating. So basically, our chakras help us to create the reality that's all around us. It increases our awareness and also helps us to express ourselves. So it helps very much with that spiritual part of us. There is as I mentioned a little earlier, there's a 7-layer energy field that connects to our chakras, that also connects to our bodies and organs. So it's kind of all interconnected, and I'll discuss that more when I get into the individual chakra videos. But that's quite interesting to me how it's all interconnected, through our physical body. So as I did research in the chakras over time, it really kind of impressed me at how structured it is and how detailed it is and how interconnected, like I said, our chakras are with our spiritual energy or energy coming in, but also with our physical bodies. So I think it's just fascinating that the divine planned it that way. It's just like, wow, it's really cool how it's all interconnected. Each layer of that 7 layers has a different function and it looks different. And this is what, people call auras. So every layer looks different. Now, I see auras, but I don't see them like with color. To me, I see like a brightness. So some people are more bright than others, but it looks like a kind of like a shield to me around people. But I don't. Now I know some people see the different colors and they can see the individual layers. I don't see that. I just see brightness or not brightness, and then I see like the shield. It kind of looks like a covering around people is what I see. And I remember as a child seeing that in people, and I just would like stare, stare at them because I'm like, what am I looking at? Because as a child, I really didn't understand what I was seeing. I didn't know what it was, but I could see that in people, and it was quite fascinating. So every person's aura is different, and it basically shows you their current emotional, mental, and physical state of their body and in their mind and their emotions. And it is one thing that you'll find out as we get deep into these chakra videos is our emotions and our mental state play a huge role in our health and the condition of how our chakras work, which is really interesting how much they're interconnected that way. So, all right, let's see. I don't want to lose my spot. Make sure that I am... All right, bear with me as I go through my notes here. Okay, so all living things have an energy field. All living things have chakras, and that includes animals and plants as well. So in animals and humans, it follows our spine. So it starts at the base of our spine and comes up. And that happens with animals too. But trees don't have a spine, but they still have chakras. So theirs is more mobile because it's, they don't have a spine, so to speak, but they do have energy and consciousness. And so theirs is more mobile. And you can actually feel their chakras. If you go over and you put your hand on the tree and you walk around the tree, if you put your hand on the tree and you start to feel like a tingling sensation going up your arm, that's where the chakra is. And in a tree, it's like a ball size, like this big. And you can actually put your hands around the ball or where the ball is on the tree, and you can connect with their energy through your energy. So you can connect your energy to their energy through that chakra. And it's a good way to ground yourself with the trees. So it's very, very fascinating that they have that they have chakras too, and that we can do that with them. So the physical body system that is in connection and alignment with chakras are the endocrine system, and it also influences human behavior. So like I said, it's very intertwined. And let's see, I want to make sure I get all the information here. And I think I covered everything. I got all my little notes over here. So I was trying to split it up into the 2 videos, but I think that's where we're going to stop for today's video. In the next video, we're going to talk about nadis, meridians, what they are. And we're going to talk about blocked chakras, how to unblock your chakras, and also what happens when your chakras are blocked and why it's important to not block them in the development of chakras. So we'll talk about that in part 2. But I just wanted to do a quick part 1 intro of what chakras are. And so really the takeaway is how, just remember they're extremely important. The people don't really talk about chakras as being important, but it is very important to our health and well-being. And it is very interconnected with our physical body. So you really want your chakras to not be blocked and working and spinning properly to bring in the proper amount of energy and letting the proper amount of energy out, so that you don't get ill or worn down. Or it's important to keep it balanced so that you're in optimal health, and that it's your body, your mind, and spirit's all healthy and balanced and happy. So it's just very important, and we'll get more into that in the next video. But thank you for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.